Welcome back to Daytime. We're talking about being over your head in debt and recognizing all the signs and symptoms, and we're joined by Carl Romanek, and Carl is a trustee in bankruptcy. What exactly does that mean, Carl?
Well, it means that you've been licensed by the Office of the Superintendent of Bankruptcy out of Industry Canada in Ottawa.
Right. Okay. So
that's a simplistic
You're
answer.
Important.
No, it's a license like anything else.
That's right. It's a license, but you're there to help people, and bankruptcy is such a scary word. Need it be?
No, absolutely not. I guess it was in my father's time, but certainly not nowadays with the number of bankruptcies in Canada approaching well over 100,000 a year.
Right.
It's now becoming much less of a stigma attached to it.
Right. Right.
But there still is.
And I mean, it's the kind of thing, I guess there's a stigma attached because it's sort of something that follows you. If you go into bankruptcy, then is your credit affect? I am sort of speaking out of turn here, maybe.
No.
Am I messing myself up for 10 years?
No, no, you're really not. Once you go into bankruptcy, you're in and out of bankruptcy in about 9 months, unless there's a specific issue that has to be dealt with.
That's fast. That's good news for people out there.
And afterwards, we will train people on how to get their credit back and reestablish themselves as a good credit person.
Right. So we recognize the signs and symptoms and all that. So my credit card payments aren't being made. I'm not opening my mail. I come to see you. Tell me what the solution is. How are you going to help me out of this mess that I've created?
Well, there's a number of things that can be done. Bankruptcy is actually the smallest part of our practice. The biggest part is to go to the creditors on some kind of debt consolidation arrangement and work out a minimum payment, which could be, you know, paying off a third of your debts or half of your debts over a period of 4 or 5 years and making monthly payments against that.
Right. And I'm sure they're quite open to that. Rather than not receiving any money at all, they're open to some sort of consolidation plan.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, half a loaf is better than no loaf at all.
That's right. Exactly. And when you're feeling overwhelmed in debt, I mean, you may have $2,000 worth of debt a month on top of your mortgage or whatever. When you consolidate, your payment goes down, becomes more manageable. Is that right?
Absolutely. We find, I get a lot of calls, people 2-3 months into a debt consolidation arrangement, where they simply say, you know, this is wonderful. I've got cash flow. I can actually go out and buy that new pair of shoes or boots for the winter. Right. You know, seeing as how the snow was out there today.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're back into winter boots, unfortunately. So they get into this. They start on a payment plan that you work with them, and you stay with them and working with them throughout that process, or is it we come in and see you and you tell us what to do and we go home?
No, actually, we're normally working with people. We have a minimum of 2 financial counseling sessions within the first year or more if necessary, as well as if there is a problem that requires a third-party agency to work with, we'll refer people on to a third party at the same time.
Would you ever have to address anything like, you know, because you don't want this happening again. This can't happen to the same person. Obviously, we have to make, as somebody that's coming in to solicit your services, we've got to make some changes.
Yes.
And you direct them in that sort of field to try to get some help in how to stop from doing what they're doing that got them in trouble?
Yes. What we normally do at the first initial meeting and the next 1 or 2 meetings after that is we work with people on how to budget properly. We do automatically have a minimum of 2 financial counseling sessions, and we'll work with people as long as it's necessary. And if it takes 3 or 4 or 5 years, we'll do it.
Right, right. That's, you know, I think people often leave this sort of as a really last resort. What can you suggest to people to do? What's your best advice to people out there to prevent from getting in this situation in the first place?
Well, obviously, live within your means, which is kind of an old hat.
So does that mean no credit card purchases?
No, absolutely not. I think credit cards have a very good place in our society today. We are a plastic society. Right. You know, if you're coming on Highway 400 and you blow a tire and you only got 20 bucks cash in your pocket, you've got a problem.
That's right.
You need the plastic as a backup, which is why once people are through with a debt consolidation or a proposal or a bankruptcy, I help them reestablish themselves by getting a credit card.
So I'm up to my ears in debt, as I said before, and you seem to have all the answers, and you know, I'm sure you're quite good at what you do, and that's why there's a need for your services. What does it cost me? Because I'm thinking, geez, I've already got $2,000 in debt. I can't take on any more debt to pay, you know, you to come in and fix my problem.
Well, if we're doing a debt consolidation arrangement, normally what we do is we go to the creditors and we ask them to pay our fees out of the money that is being paid towards the debt. The reason why is if we work out with somebody that all they can afford is I don't know, $225 a month or something like that. Well, they haven't got the money to pay our bill on top of that, so we work it out with the creditors that we take our fee out of the $225, and that's it as far as the debtor is concerned.
You are the light at the end of the tunnel, and unfortunately in these times there's a lot of dark tunnels out there. So
there are.
That's terrific. I'm glad your service is out there, and if they want more information quickly, where can they get that?
They can phone us through our master number. It's 416-665-DEBT.
Well, thank you so much, Carl, for joining us on the show today. That's terrific. And thanks to Robin Janak, who was also here from the Creemore